We're live.
Hello, streamers. Are you ready to talk about mobile gear, mobile apps, all the things that you need to be able to create content from this thing, or Android? It's okay too. We're going to talk about all of that. We're also going to get into some strategies, some tips for engagement and creating your live streams. We're going to answer some important questions, and we're going to take Q&A also. Are you guys ready to do this? Let's do it. Now, I have a very, 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 very special guest with me today. His name is Nimmin, and he helps mobile content creators make content, live stream, and succeed on YouTube with just their smartphone. I love it. Welcome, D.
Hey, Luria, how are you? Thanks for having me on.
I'm so excited to have you. I'm fantastic. We see Michael in the house, Scully. We've got Go For Technology. We've got Chad in the house. We've got Kathleen. We've got Rishi, Nicole that says, let's do this. Yes, Nicole.
The gang's all here.
The gang is here. So you guys may know D. If you do, give me a big yes in the comments. Or actually, instead of yes, just type D. Type his name in the comments.
Take it.
If you're new to him, he's one of my favorite people in this entire world. And his entire YouTube channel is all around smartphones and mobile content creation. And we both learned from each other. And I was thrilled to be able to get him on this show to talk about all of this stuff. So D, you're actually in Mexico right now.
I am in Mexico, yes. I actually live in Thailand, but while I was traveling, the world shut down. So here I am in Mexico. Loving
there you are. You had to actually
it.
change Airbnbs so that you could get more internet, right?
Yes. We've been Airbnb hopping to find good, solid internet. So here we are, and I'm using what I have to come to you live today.
Which is key, right? Like we've all just have to use what we got. And one of the things that I've been harping on through this crazy time that we're living in is the need to just get going and start taking action, which is why I wanted you on this show, because the phone is one of the easiest ways to just get going. What is why did you start focusing on mobile content creators? Like, what is it about that you love?
Well, I love tinkering with phones. I love tinkering with apps. Don't get me wrong. I have a desktop computer. I have all the stuff. I have all those things. But I love the challenge of how can I do this on a desktop and then take it to a phone and accomplish the same thing. So it kind of became like a personal challenge.
Yeah.
And then when I was trying to figure out what niche I would get into, I looked for a community that wasn't being served. There was plenty of people showing mobile phone reviews or an occasional tutorial on a phone, but I said nobody's specifically targeting YouTubers. Nobody's specifically targeting mobile creators at that time. At least nobody that I found.
Yeah.
So that's how I got into it. And it was a perfect fit. Yeah, it was a perfect fit to come right in because I already had, friends who were already educators in the space, and of course my brother's an educator in the space.
Right.
So it's a perfect fit.
It is the perfect fit. So like I said, guys, if you just joined us, we're going to be talking about gear. We're going to be talking about apps. We're going to talk about tips for engagement and preparing, and a really important strategy question of whether to live stream to grow or to build your community. There are a couple of different strategies around this. But first, before we get into all of that, let's talk gear, because I know y'all like to talk gear. So what are your favorite gear options for getting more professional streams out of your phone?
Okay, well, the first thing to think about is your audio. Hands down, people might forgive your video if it's a little bit bad, it's a little bit low quality. But if your audio's bad, a lot of people are going to tune out. Now, if you do have one of the newer flagship phones, one of the newest Samsung phones, the S10, the S20, or maybe you have the newest iPhone, the microphones are actually pretty good. They're not great, but if that's all you have, that's good enough to get started. But a lot of people can go and they can actually just plug this in. This comes with your phone. Everybody has one of these, and that's a little microphone right there. And this will actually sound better in most cases than the microphone that comes with your phone. So that would be the most budget-free step in terms of leveling up your audio. The second thing you could look at is getting an inexpensive lavalier microphone. There's one called the Boya BY-M1 lavalier microphone. It costs around, I know prices are going up right now on Amazon because everybody's scrambling to find things to live stream with. Originally, it cost around $17 US. I'm not sure where it's at now, but 17, 20 US dollars. It's a little clip-on lapel microphone. It sounds great. Alternatively, if you're not familiar with that brand and you want to go with a brand that you know, there's the Rode SmartLav Plus. It's a little more expensive, but it sounds about the same. So those will be the budget options, and of course the free option for that in terms of audio. Now, if you want to step it up and go even higher, this is actually my favorite mobile microphone at the time, and this is the Shure MV88 Plus. The MV88 Plus actually comes with a kit. This is not the kit part. It actually comes with a Manfrotto tripod. I've hacked this because I didn't plan on getting stuck here in Mexico.
Right.
So, but it comes with a Manfrotto tripod. It comes with a mount. It comes with this microphone. Sorry, but what shines with this microphone is that it also comes with an app. You have to download the app, and it works for both Android and iOS devices. And with the app, you can control the polar pattern of the phone. So if you
what does that mean?
What that means is, if you want to record the direction that the microphone is picking up the audio, you can do that. If you want to say, hey, only pick up the sound coming from the front of the mic because I'm vlogging or I'm doing talking head style content like this, it will focus on what's in front of it. Or if you're doing an interview, you can say, make it a wider pattern to pick up on both sides of the microphone. So you could do an interview and it will pick up both people correctly.
Nice.
Clearly. This is a little bit more expensive, but if you truly wanted great audio, this.
And all of the links, by the way, are in the link in the description, livestreamingpros.com/mobile. Now, for those of you watching live right now, I actually didn't get that page entirely set up. So there are some there. I'm going to be adding more later, so you just watch later. But all the links are going to and will be there on that mobile page. Okay, you were about to say something else.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, but more importantly, don't get caught up on that. If this is all you have, it's important that you just start.
Exactly.
And that's really the underlying message of my channel. Like, of course, I want to help people succeed and get to where they want to go using their phone. But underneath all of that, I just want people to start. Like, you have a camera. It's in your pocket. You've had this for a long time. It's good enough to get going. And in most cases, depending on the type of content you make, it's good enough to keep going.
Yeah. And his channel, by the way, is in the description. So be sure to click on that and subscribe. YouTube.com. That's a habit. YouTube.com/DNimmin. Nicole, before we move on to apps, Nicole wanted to know, what about wireless earbuds? Like the AirPods, for instance. Is that going to be good enough?
I mean, I haven't tested them, but I've heard videos of people who've tested them. These actually sound better. In all the audio tests that I've heard, the cabled ones actually sound better than the wireless ones. But if that's all you have and if that's what you're comfortable with,
for sure. That.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about mobile is it gives you flexibility.
Yeah.
And nothing's going to be perfect. So just choose whatever gear you feel the most comfortable with, the one that you have with you when you need it.
Yeah.
If all you have is your earbuds, if you don't have your earbuds, that's fine too. Just as long as you have something. So when you want to hit record, you've got it.
Okay. And then, go ahead.
I was just going to say, in terms of wireless, I forgot to mention another microphone option. If you did want a completely wireless setup, Rode makes a great microphone called the Wireless Go. And with the Wireless Go, they make it a lavalier microphone that will plug into it. It's the lavalier Go. So completely wireless, and you can use a lapel microphone as well that plugs into the wireless device.
Yeah. We have that one, love it as well. What about a Bluetooth audio like the Jabras? I mean, again, whatever you have, use. There's
no right or wrong. There's no right or wrong. These are just my personal favorites based on what I've tested.
Yeah. Okay, so let's also talk about apps. Does that cover the gear? Like, I mean, that's a good selection for gear.
Yeah.
Let's talk about apps to go live. Somebody was Jack I'm never sure how to say his name, or your name, was asking about like the best way to do an interview for mobile. That he mentioned the mic that will be able to do a physical interview. But talk to me about your favorite apps for, live streaming with your phone.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you my favorite apps to live stream, then I'm going to specifically answer his question for interviews. Yeah. Okay, so for live streaming, if you have over 1,000 subscribers, you can stream directly from the YouTube app itself. But you need 1,000 subscribers to do that, and you need to make sure that your channel is verified. If you go to youtube.com/verify, YouTube will tell you if your channel is verified or not, or walk you through the process if it's not. Now, if you have under 1,000 subscribers, you can use a third-party app such as Prism Live Studio if you want to do talking head live streams like Lurie and I are doing right now. Really easy to use, very intuitive. I have videos on it on my channel. If you're a gamer, I would look into Streamlabs. Fantastic app for that. It's Streamlabs Mobile. They do have an upgrade feature inside of Streamlabs where you can buy more features, but the basic use of Streamlabs is free. If you have iOS devices, specifically if you have an iPad or multiple iPhones, this is where it gets really cool. There's a cool app called Switcher Studio.
Yes.
Yeah, Switcher Studio is amazing. So let's say you have 2 iPhones and an iPad. A lot of people who are in the iOS ecosystem already, the Apple ecosystem, a lot of them have multiple iOS devices. So what this does, let's say you want to use your iPad as the switcher, as a control panel. Now you install Switcher Studio on all of your iOS devices, and every iPhone you have or iPads, additional iPads, turn into camera sources. So then you can actually switch cameras while you're live streaming. Mm-hmm. I know all of you who watch Lurie and David, they have different camera angles, a very professional looking studio. You can do the same thing with your iOS devices using Switcher Studio.
Yeah. And we also did, on this channel is an interview with Nick from Switcher Studio.
Cool.
So that was just done last week, I believe. And so, yeah, you guys can dive into a little bit more in-depth tutorial with that if you're interested in what Dee is just talking about with Switcher Studio. It's a fantastic app. Well, I'm going to let you keep going before we move on to the next question.
Okay.
I'm going to keep us in tips.
There's one more. So if you like Switcher Studio, they have a competitor called Cinemaker. And what Cinemaker does, it's a little bit different. You can switch camera sources just like you can with Switcher, but as it records your live stream. So let's say you have 3 camera sources. It will record all 3 of them at the same time, and then you can easily go back and edit. So let's imagine you have 3 layers on your video editing timeline, and it's all 3 of your camera sources. So you play it back, and you can literally just tap on the one as it's playing. You can tap on the one that you want to actually show during the final video.
Okay.
So after you've live streamed, you have those 3 tracks. If you want to repurpose this somewhere, you hit play, and you just go through and say, okay, during this part, I'm going to tap on this. Now I want to tap here. Now I want to tap there. And you tap and edit as it plays, and it renders out a final video with all the switches.
It's like video DJing.
Incredible. Yes, that should be their tagline.
It sounds exactly like it.
Yeah. Now, for interviews, like you asked, so you can use the Whereby. Whereby is a desktop. They have a desktop version where I think it's whereby.com, but they also have an app.
Okay.
The app is fantastic, so you can bring in another guest and interview them that way.
Perfect. And that's for YouTube, Facebook, anywhere, or?
I'm not sure exactly all the destinations you can stream it to, but I know it will do an interview. But you might have to run that through another app to do that. But
we'll be putting these links on the. Actually, well, I don't know if I have that one. What was that app again?
Whereby.
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 There you go. And do you know of anything like Switcher Studio for Android?
Unfortunately, no.
Yeah, me either.
Unfortunately, no. All the good stuff is for iOS users. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Android users.
Yeah. I do want to mention about Whereby. I'm not 100% sure about all the destinations. And the original person who starts it, you might have to start it on a desktop or through a browser. So go in through like Chrome or Firefox or something on your phone, put it in desktop mode, and try to start it that way. Then bring in a guest with the app.
Got it.
Yeah, you might have to finagle that a little bit.
Okay. So, and somebody else asked earlier, and I don't have that comment to put up, but when is the best time to go from mobile to a studio setup like ours. What are your thoughts on that, Dee?
Uh, whenever, whenever you're ready. Real quick, Lori, I just remembered Switcher. You can also bring in guests. Switcher Studio.
Yes, you can. Yeah, that's a good point.
Guests.
Yeah.
Whenever you want to go live, whenever you want to make the step from a mobile live stream to a professional studio, I believe that's a level 4.
Well, no, level 3. So level 1. So our 4 levels of live streaming is what he's talking about. Level 1 being the phone. Level 2 being cloud-based services on your desktop. So like using, StreamYard, for example, or just going straight to youtube.com. Or then level 3 is downloadable software like Ecamm on Mac and vMix on a PC. And then level 4 is adding all of the fancier gear, right? Adding all of the extras to your production so that it's really top notch and it's also push button simple. So those are the 4 levels. And yeah, like I agree with you. It's like, when are you ready? The mobile, the level 1, it never, ever really stops being something that you should do, in my personal opinion. I talk about live streams where you can go live and you kind of bring people in in the journey of your life. And now this like has its place in your channel or in maybe Instagram. If you're really doing like a more tutorial based YouTube channel, for instance, you can do it in different platforms in different ways, but mobile never stops being important to use, because it has so much flexibility, right? Even if you're at a level 4. So that's my thought on it.
No, I agree 100%. I would say if you're just starting out, learn your phone. Learn everything about it. Learn everything about your phone. And there's something intimate about mobile live streaming. Mm-hmm. And when I see creators that I normally see, like if I see you and David live streaming from a phone, it's a completely different vibe than when you're in your studio.
Yeah.
Right? It's a completely different vibe. So learn how to stream on your phone. Learn all about it. Learn how to troubleshoot it when it's not working. Yeah. Once you've mastered your phone, once you've mastered your mobile, and if you have the budget to step up and you think it's going to help with what you're doing, then step up.
Yeah.
But like Gloria said, keep streaming from time to time with your phone. It's fun.
In fact, David and I just went live on Sunday because it's an off day for us, right? It's not a normal day for anybody to get content from our channel. But on YouTube, we went live from the phone and we went from the waterfront. So we live right by the Columbia River. And so we went live from there, and you can hear the waves coming up onto shore. You can hear the ducks and the geese, right? And people were actually thanking us for that stream, for getting out of the studio, because it really connects them to us as a people, but also it gives them a little bit of a break from their snowstorm or whatever they're experiencing.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Living vicariously through you.
Totally. Yeah. All right, so let's talk about strategy a little bit. Since we are kind of already talking about it, let's dive deeper into the topic of, should you live stream to grow your channel or to build your community? You want to tackle that a little bit, Dee?
Yeah, so there's 2 ways to look at it, like Luria just said. You can stream to grow your channel, or try to grow your channel, or you can stream to build community. Now, what I do on my channel, I stream for community building. I don't stream to grow the channel. In fact, because I do Q&A, because I do a hangout with my channel, I actually lose subscribers every time I go live. And the reason being is because some people get upset when I don't answer their questions. Yeah. If I get 100 people in the chat or 150 people in the chat, I can't answer everyone's questions. I just can't do it. Plus, the chat moves fast.
Yeah.
I use a Google form. I try to direct people down to a Google form to write a question in, but a lot of people, they don't want to do that. They want attention in the chat. They want it now. And if they don't get it, some people unsubscribe. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Right? You got to be fine with that.
That's a whole other thing like we've been dealing with, because we all of a sudden did go from, like 50, 60 simultaneous viewers to over 100. And it happened really quickly. And we were like, wait, like we've got to figure out a plan now to deal with the influx of questions, because we just started not being able to do it. Like we couldn't get to all of them. So it's a tricky thing for sure.
So because of that, I do lose subscribers almost on every single live stream.
Interesting.
But but I do it for community building. I want to hang out with the people. I want to get to know my community. I want to know people who leave comments, and you start to build those relationships with people who come back stream after stream. You see them in your comments, and that's a powerful thing. So streaming for community building is incredibly powerful. I recommend that you do it. You don't have to do that for every live stream, but do it from time to time. Your community will appreciate that. But just keep in mind, you might lose subscribers. You might not grow from that live stream. Now,
well, and also, but before you move on to the other piece of that, in order to build community, you already have to have an audience, right? So, like, in order to use live streaming for community building purposes, you have to have people who will show up. It's kind of a chicken or the egg, right. Kind of thing, because you can live stream and you can start to build that community and you can start to grow out of that, but you also kind of have to play it strategically, which is leading you into where you're going next, I think.
You know, one of the biggest mistakes I made on my channel was, and okay, so those of you who don't know, I do a live stream with my brother Nick Nimmin. Mm-hmm. We do it, well, not now because of what's happening, but we usually do it together in a studio every Saturday, and we do YouTube Q&A. We help people grow their channels and that sort of thing. So I was streaming with Nick before I started my channel, and we were getting, 200 people in the chat, 150, 200 people in the chat. I think his channel was around 150,000 subscribers at the time. So I was used to streaming with a large audience, a large amount of viewers. Then when I started my own channel, I thought, because I started with Nick, right? I started with people in there, that nonstop engagement.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, I'm not going to start streaming until I get to 10,000 subscribers. That was a mistake.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That was a mistake for a couple of reasons. One, because you have to learn how to fix problems. You have to learn how to troubleshoot, because I guarantee you, things are going to go wrong. Mm-hmm. It wouldn't be a live stream if it went smooth.
Right?
Right?
I mean, right before this stream, I was like, fixing stuff and, know.
Right. Things are going to happen when you go live. You have to learn about your tech. You have to learn how to problem solve. You have to learn how to get a backup at the last minute to fix things. Yeah. So you got to learn about your tech. But secondly, I find now, in retrospect, I have a test channel where if I'm going to test a streaming app or I want to test something, I go live there. There's maybe like 100 subscribers to that channel, and maybe 15 or 20 people will show up, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
It's intimate, and you get to answer every question, and you get to actually have a true conversation with the people who do show up.
Yes.
And I miss that. I could have started that on, day one on my channel. Even if only one person showed up, that would have been a great conversation to have with that one person. And you don't have to go live for an hour. Go live for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Go live for 10 minutes.
I love that. I'm glad that you pointed that mistake out, because it is nerve-wracking to people to not have people show up and have a small audience, and it's a constant source of frustration for people. But that's a really good example that you used that shows, like, you want to create that loyalty, and that's the key, is you're creating loyalty when it's small, right? Like the people who show up consistently, and you have those conversations, so much easier for them to continue showing up day after day and week after week over the long period of time. Those are going to be some of your most loyal people.
Yeah, and eventually when your channel does get bigger, you will wish for those days where you're like, wow, I wish there was only like 10 people in here.
Yeah.
It's because you just want to hang out.
And also a benefit of those is that you actually, when you do grow, those are the people that become your moderators and the people that you trust because you have that intimate connection with them, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. Great example. Love it.
Yeah, I was going to say something
else.
Oh,
sorry.
Live,
whatever. We'll just keep going.
Yeah. Anyway, that was the mistake that I made.
Yeah.
So even if you have a very small community or just getting started, practice going live. Oh, here's what it was. In addition to the gear, you have to learn how to communicate.
Yeah.
And there's something that happens when it goes live, and you're going to be very awkward at first. Most people are. Some people are natural, but most people, you kind of have to learn how to communicate. And the brain does a really weird thing when you're live streaming and you're speaking, is you have to first think about, I have to eliminate the awkward pauses. I have to eliminate the ums and the ahs if I can. You don't want dead space. You don't want silence during your live stream. So your brain kind of like breaks in two. You've got one part of your brain that's speaking and engaging, and the other part of your brain that's trying to like manage everything that's happening. And what it does is it makes you a better communicator.
Yeah.
It makes your videos easier to record. Like once you start live streaming for a while, you're saying, wow, I can record my videos better because you've learned how to work your brain in a way to where you can communicate and not get tripped up over things so much.
1000%.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Live makes you better at everything. Your business, as a business owner, like when you start to make money and you start to diversify income and you have a business out of the content that you're creating, holy cow, like being able to think on the fly and to move and to fix things and to like be a better communicator, all of it all goes hand in hand.
Yeah. Now, show of hands in the chat right now. Type in yes if you're shy on camera or you're not sure about. I'm not sure about live streaming. I don't feel really comfortable with it. I'm awkward. I'm afraid I'm not going to know what to say. Type in yes right now if you're uncomfortable in front of the camera, be it recording your video or live streaming. Type in yes.
I know we're going to get a bunch of yeses.
Here they come. Yes. Okay.
Holy cow.
So here's what's going to happen. And Luria can back me up on this. It's going to be very awkward when you first start live streaming. And we're going to give you some tips on that, by the way. But it's going to be very awkward, but you have to push through this because here's what's going to happen. After you've live streamed for a while, you are going to have a confidence in front of the camera unlike you're not going to believe the confidence that you're going to have in front of the camera, to the point, I mean, don't get me wrong, you will still get jitters from time to time. Before I went live here with Luria, I was like, okay, I hope I don't mess up. I hope I don't
mess up.
Trip over my words when I come in, right? But I mean, you're still going to get the jitters here or there, but you're going to build a confidence. And I just sitting in front of the camera and hitting record doesn't build the confidence the way live streaming does.
Yeah.
And
I just have to kind of say this because this is, everybody's putting it in the comments. So one thing that we did twice a year, we like to launch this challenge. It's a completely free challenge called LIDA, live every day in April or August.
I love it.
Right?
I love it.
And that's going on right now. And holy freaking cow, it's amazing the progress that people are making in that group, because they come in order to be confident on camera. That's the goal. And we're saying like, it's going to take you a year, right? It usually takes like people like a year to get comfortable on camera. And we're pushing them to get comfortable in 30 days by doing over and over and over in a quick succession. And it's just really incredible how confident people are becoming just halfway through the month.
That's awesome. I love that you're helping people build that confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
So important. Okay.
Yeah.
So so we were talking.
So that's one side. That's one side. Community building.
Yeah. I was trying to come back to this. Yes.
Pull it back in. Yeah.
Reel it back in. All right. Continue to the second part of that topic of why you should be live streaming, or like how to use live streaming on your channel.
Okay, so we're going to make that transition into if you're trying to grow your channel through live streaming. But I first want to, Lori, do you want to talk about tips before I get into that? You want to talk about tips for live streaming, things that they can do if they haven't live streamed yet, for somebody who's just joining in for the first time? Because some of my community's coming in here and they might not have some of your tips.
Sure. I mean, tips for if you're just thinking about live streaming or like,
what do you talk about?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you talk about? Right.
So I like to have people, and this is actually one of the LIDA challenges that we just went through, is if you don't know what to talk about, literally brainstorm. I want you to turn off all notifications. I want your phone on mute. I want you pulling out a pen and paper. Like, go old school here. And I want for 30 minutes you to brainstorm everything you know about your topic, because you actually know a ton. It's about unlocking it in your brain. It doesn't have to be in topic mode, right? It can literally be like, okay, I know this thing, and I know if I'm thinking about cooking eggs, and that's my topic, like cooking with eggs channel, then I'm going to say fried egg sandwich. I know how to do poached eggs. I know how to do this, right? Like you just brainstorm everything you know. And by the way, do not like poached eggs. Just putting that out there.
Neither do I.
A fried egg sandwich, though, All in.
Not in a box, not with a fox.
Right. Not with him, for sure.
Right.
And so just brainstorm everything. Out of that, I want you to pick 3 topic ideas or three things that your audience might know. And then what I always like to say is, when you're creating a piece of content out of that list, then you choose one topic and then you ask yourself 3 things. What does my audience want to know about this topic? What does my audience not know already about this topic? And then what does my audience not need to know about this topic right now? Because like I like to drill down into the what do they want and need, and then what do they not, because you know a ton about your subject. Let's remove some of that, because often the mistake that people make when first live streaming is just like dumping all, and it doesn't help your audience. We're trying to create a quick win, something easy for somebody to accomplish or know, and then you can dive deeper in, other videos if you want. But it's about drilling down to that. So that's in terms of content creation. It, you just need to trust yourself and unlock that in your brain.
I love that. My first maybe 10 solo live streams that I did on my channel, old school, white piece of paper, black Sharpie, and I wrote down 5 things to talk about that kind of kept things on topic.
Yes, the bullet points. I think I was talking about the bullet points. I believe I was talking about video editing apps or something like that. And just because when you are live streaming, you can guarantee, I think I did it 10 minutes ago, you will have moments where your brain's just like off. Yep. It happens to everybody.
Right in the middle of the conversation, your brain was like, I'm out.
Yes.
So having that piece of paper with what Luria said, or having bullet points, something you can look down to and reference, it keeps the conversation going when your mind checks out.
Yeah.
So that's very important. And it also eliminates that fear of, what am I going to talk about?
Exactly.
What am I going to say? What if there's only 2 people watching, or what if there's 20 people and nobody's chatting?
Yeah.
By having notes, by having something to reference, you can continue to speak, continue to carry on your live stream without having to worry about it.
And specifically in live, another tip is to prepare a question in advance so that you can get people to talk, right? And this should not be a deep philosophical, like, what do you think about XYZ? Right. No, like, we want something super simple, super easy. What are you fearful about when it comes to live video? That's something that's really easy for people to be like, I'm fearful about this. And it doesn't cause, like, it's just an easy answer. It can be a simple yes or no. Like, Dee, what are some of your favorite easy questions to ask?
Easy questions to ask for me, because I'm specific about making content on your phone, live streaming on your phone, YouTubing on your phone. In terms of, I just like to get the chat going. I might break the ice by just asking, okay, what type of device are you on? Are you an Android user or an iPhone user?
It's great.
People love, there's a huge divide right there.
Uh-huh.
Right? People, it's weird.
It gets
how
people talking.
It gets people talking, and sometimes they'll get fighting in the chat, and the mods will have to come in. But that simple thing, or something that I learned from you early on, was just asking people if they're new.
Yeah, I love that one.
That's the best. That's the best gold I think
really
anyone has ever given me anywhere.
I'm glad.
In terms of engagement, because not only can you use that for live streaming, but you can use that for your comments as well.
Yes.
I put that on my videos all the time. But in terms of live streaming, you can say, if you're new to the channel, type in new, or if you're new to the live stream, type in new in the chat right now, so I can give you a proper welcome and explain what's going on. Exactly. And people who are new, the people who want to engage, they'll type in new.
Yeah.
And that kind of drives conversation. You can welcome them to the chat, explain again what's going on in the live stream. Yeah, that was gold. I remember when you said that. I was sitting in the audience at VidCon, and you were up on stage. I remember that so clearly. You have those moments on YouTube where somebody will tell you something, and it's like level unlocked. Right?
Yeah, it's just like,
it's just unlocked. Yeah. That was for me. I was sitting there and I went, huh. Like, that just kind of shifted my entire perception of just how simple, because it was so simple and something that everyone could do at every level, both live and on your videos on any platform.
Yeah.
But
I have videos that blow up with comments that, like, as they get more search traffic, the comments just are constantly coming in, new. And I always like to go beyond that. I like to respond with a question. And so that people know in the comments, especially if they're new, like, I treat my new people with, like, as gold, right? Because I want them to show back up and I want them to feel welcome in my community. I train, quote unquote, my community to welcome new people and say hi. And, you know, like, I want that community feel. And so, like, I like to respond with a question like, hey, thank you for being here. How'd you find us? Or what was your biggest takeaway? Or if it's about a specific thing, did you get XYZ working? You know, like, was there to watch a video on that particular thing, right? So, like, I like to ask a question to just show a little bit of extra, you know, personality and human connection.
I love that you say that, because let's forget the fact that you're live. Let's forget the fact that it's in a video.
Yeah.
You're starting a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You're starting a conversation just like you would with somebody in real life.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah, you don't just be like, shoot.
Right. Somebody's like, hey, I'm new. And you're like, hey, thanks for coming. I'm glad you found the channel. How did you find the channel? Yeah. They respond, and then you can carry on that conversation. A lot of people will carry that on for as long as you want to carry that on. Luria, I've gotten, I don't even know how many thousands, maybe tens of thousands of people just typing in new in my YouTube comments because of that one little tip.
Yay.
They still come every single day. Hundreds of them.
So cool. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're using that, and I'm glad that I could help. When you tweeted that, and I was like, I wonder where he heard me say that. So now I know.
It was a VidCon. Yeah. It was a presentation two years ago.
Okay, yeah.
2 years ago.
Very cool.
Yeah, that was gold. Absolute gold. So I know we just did like a long
total loop.
Roundabout way.
That's okay. We're getting back there.
That's how we roll here.
When you've got two people who can just talk, that's what happens.
That's what happens. So moving on, and I know this is what you've been waiting for, is how can you grow your channel through live streaming? And my strategy for this, what I would recommend if that's your goal, and it's important to know why you're live streaming. Do you want to grow your channel or try to grow your channel, or do you want to build a community or just stay in touch with your community and get them to engage more? But if you want to grow, or try to grow, here's something that you can do. You can present your live stream like you would in a video. Now you can start the video, you can start the live stream, and you can hang out for a while if you want. You can do Q&A, you can do whatever you want, and then pause, let your community know that you're going to actually start the education part or whatever it is part of your live stream where you actually start the video. Then come in with your hook just like you would a video. So if I wanted to do a live stream where I was talking about the top 5 video editing apps for iPhone, maybe the first 10 or 15 minutes of the live stream, I would do a Q&A, I would hang out with the community, I would just, I would get people fired up and I would get in the zone. And then I would say, okay, I'm going to actually start the video portion now. So then I would stop and I would actually come back with the hook. Today I'm going to show you 5 video editing apps for iPhone, and then I would just go right on into it just as if I was recording a video. I would have my notes, I would keep track of that, and at the end of it, I would make it however long it needed to be, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 10 minutes, and at the end of that I would stop, I would close it out. Thanks for watching, hit the subscribe button, all of that stuff, and then I would go back into Q&A or back into hanging out. Then when it's finished processing, when the live stream is finished, you can go into YouTube, go into their video editor, and I would trim off the beginning hangout and I would trim off the ending hangout. So what you're left with is an actual video. Yeah. Then you can retitle that video. You can add your description. You can add your tags. You can put a great thumbnail on there. And what you've done is you've just repurposed that live stream for an actual video where people can find through suggested traffic, people can find through search. And that's what I would do if you're trying to grow your channel. You still get your live stream. Love it. You still get to hang out with your community, but you've repurposed it so you can focus on growing. Because people don't want to, one thing that I do for most of my live streams is I unlist them because I might go for 2 or 3 hours. Right. Or if I stream with my brother, we might go for 6. Yeah. We started unlisting those because what we noticed started happening was YouTube would recommend those next. So if somebody comes in and they say, if they're like, how to live stream on a mobile phone, and it's like a 3-minute video, then up next, here's a 3-hour live stream that has nothing to do with what you just watched. So people are not going to click and watch on that. Yeah. So I've started unlisting those.
Yeah, and you guys see this same strategy here on our channel as well, if you've been paying attention, right? And so like this is actually something that came out of conversations with Dee and Nick, and we all like to share information and like what are we experiencing over here and what are we experiencing there, and that's worked really well for us, is unlisting those live streams, the Friday live streams where it's just open Q&A. They're all like, those ones are community hangouts. They're Q&A. We just goof off and answer questions and have a great time. There's dancing, there's all the things, right? But then our like anything where we're doing training based, like we structure it so that we do that chop off, and that's been super beneficial.
Yeah, I'm actually glad you said that. Because I want to say, when you are starting your channel or running your channel, wherever you're at along your journey, you have to think about what your goal is.
Yes, right? It's all about the goal.
You have to know what your goals are as a channel. And if your channel goal is growth, right? If that's your channel goal, then every single piece of content you put on your channel, be it a live stream or a pre-recorded video, you have to ask yourself, is this going to grow my channel? And if the answer is no, and you're right, if it's a live stream and the answer is no, when it's finished, unlist it.
Yeah.
Right? If it is something that's going to grow your channel, leave it. If it's not going to grow your channel, unlist it.
Yeah. And like you don't do something just because somebody else does it. Like you make sure that you are paying exactly attention to what Dee just said, which is, what is the goal? The goal. You have to understand what you're trying to do in order to have success, right?
Right. Now, and success can be defined differently by different people. I'm trying to grow my channel. I'm trying to grow a brand. I'm trying to impact as many people as possible. So I have to take certain steps to do that. Your goal might be just to have fun. If that's the case, then just do whatever you want to do on your channel.
Right.
But if growth is your goal, you're going to have to do things strategically.
Are you guys loving the tips that Dee is giving you guys?
Give us some thumbs up.
Like, tell me.
Thumbs up this stream.
Yeah. And right now, I want you to go subscribe to his channel too, like youtube.com/Dee Nimmin. The link is in the description. He's gold. He's freaking awesome, and I really appreciate. We're not wrapping this up, by the way. We've got more. But you guys definitely subscribe to his channel. Love it. Subbed. Awesome. Fantastic. Okay, so let's keep talking a little bit. I mean, we talked about kind of engagement and stuff. One thing I do want to ask you is preparation for a mobile stream looks very different than preparation for a studio stream. So what are the things that you do, like best practices to prepare for a mobile stream?
Okay, so if I'm going to go live on mobile, I have to think about a couple of things. I got to think about how long am I going to go live. If it's a short live, then I have no problem holding my phone, especially if I'm sitting on a balcony or if I'm sitting at a cafe somewhere. I'll just hold it. But if it's going to be something to where my arm's going to get tired, I want to make sure that I have some sort of a tripod. Or I'm going to stack up a bunch of books or something, or I'm going to set my phone somewhere to where I don't have to hold it. So you have to think about how long is this actually going to go.
Yeah.
The second thing you need to keep in mind is, are you going to be connected to Wi-Fi or are you going to be connected to your data plan? Because if you don't have unlimited data, you are going to burn through your data really fast, especially if you're trying to stream a higher quality stream. Now, we talked about Prism Live Studio before.
Yeah.
Prism will allow you to stream up at 1080p, where I believe YouTube itself will only allow you to stream up at 720 with a mobile device, unless they've changed that. I haven't looked in a while. I always stream up at 720p.
720, yeah.
Yeah, but Prism will let you go up at 1080p. So that's pretty cool. So I'm looking at those two things. Do I need to put my phone somewhere because my arm's going to get tired, or and do I need to connect Wi-Fi, or am I going to use my data? And then if I'm on Wi-Fi, if I'm in a cafe or even where I'm at here, I'll run a speed test. I have the I think it's pronounced Ookla. Let me double check here. It's the Ookla speed test app.
Yeah, Ookla.
Ookla. And what
That's how I say it, at least.
Ookla. It's the Ookla speed test app. And what I'm looking for is my upload speed. A lot of people say, hey, I've got great internet, and they'll show me their internet. It'll be like, 100 megabits down and like 2 up. And I'm like, you need to look at your upload speed.
Right.
That's what matters, right? Your upload speed. So if your upload speed is good, you've got something to set your phone on if it's going to be a longer live stream. And of course, do I have my mic? I always put this. This is always in my bag. This came with your phone. If I need a microphone, I'm going to use this. But truth be told, when I haven't had that, a lot of times I've just went live with this.
Yeah.
And not one person's like, oh, you sound awful. Now, to be fair, the microphone in the newer iPhones, they sound great.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, on my older Samsung, it sounds horrible, but on my newer iPhones, it sounds good. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at Wi-Fi. I'm looking at my data. I'm looking at, do I need a tripod? Do I have a microphone? Do I need a microphone? And I'm also looking at light.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at, right now I'm sitting next to a very large window. So that's the light that's coming in. If I'm at a cafe or something like that, I'm also making sure that there's not music playing wherever I'm at. If I'm outside, and if you're sitting at a cafe or you're outside somewhere and you're walking around and you get music, copyright music, you could get a copyright claim. That can happen during a live stream. So I'm listening for music and I'm looking to, okay, where's the light source? And I want to put the light source in front of me, not behind me.
Yeah. And
that was a long answer.
No, all great tips. Like, these are important things. The one thing that I always get lazy about, and I want to know if you do too, is going into like airplane mode.
I don't do that as much as I should.
Yeah.
Here's what happens. I don't do it, and then something will happen.
And then you're like,
why didn't I turn on airplane mode? And then for the next 1 or 2 live streams, I'll put on airplane mode until I forget again.
Me too.
And then I'll get hit with, I'm like, why didn't I turn on airplane? Yeah.
Yeah. Always do airplane mode, guys. If you're using Wi-Fi, you'll need to turn on Wi-Fi or airplane mode and then back onto Wi-Fi, because Wi-Fi turns off with airplane mode, but you can have that active. So I'm glad you're enjoying it, Kevin.
Mode,
yeah.
Airplane mode. And if you have a do not disturb, put both of them on.
Yeah, exactly. Like, cover all your bases, because you know your mom is going to call right when you're live streaming.
There's a universal rule that says she must call.
Right?
Somebody's going to call you. Do you mind if I take a question from the chat?
Absolutely.
So at Tech for Your Needs, because this is relevant to what we were talking about before, it says, how about the strategy of 2 for them and 1 for you in terms of making content? Because I talked about, every piece of content, if your goal is growth, to make sure it's growth.
Yeah.
That's actually a great strategy. For me, I occasionally throw those in there to where it's like, I just want to make this video.
Yeah.
I just want to make this video. And I think that's fine at a certain point in your channel. When you're starting out, I don't recommend that. When you're starting out, I would put the blinders on and I would say, okay, every piece of content, it has to make sense. It should be relevant, because you want people binge watching your content. That's something that Luria and David did fantastically. Everything they do is about live streaming.
Yep.
Right. So it's easy to binge watch their content. One video to the next video to the next video. And that's the right way to do it. So if you're making content that's all over the place, a lot of people say, I just want to make all kinds of content. That's great. But you're not going to grow your channel at the speed that you want to grow it by just throwing a bunch of stuff up on your channel.
Yeah.
You want to think binge-worthy content, because YouTube will reward you by getting that watch time, by creating videos that people watch to the end, and then leading them on to watch even more content.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to throw one in there, 2 for them, 1 for me, that's great at a certain channel size. Once your channel has momentum, once you're growing, once you have evergreen content or videos that continue to deliver views, you can be more flexible with that down the road. But starting out, focus.
I always tell people, like, people with bigger channels who've done the work, put in the consistent work and all of the hardness that goes into that, get to be flexible. They get to take experiments or make experiments and take chances and do things that you, as a small creator, if you were just starting, you just can't do. Like, you got to be disciplined.
I'm doing that right now with my channel. Last year for me, I focused on all of my videos. I was focused on growth. Yeah. Growth. This year, I said, you know what? I'm going to try a lot more videos about gear. I'm going to talk more about tripods. I'm going to talk more about microphones. I'm going to talk more about gimbals. It's not responding. My current community is not responding as well to those as they do YouTube tips or they do some other app tips.
Okay.
But I'm okay with that, because what's happening slowly is I'm pulling in new people as well who are interested in that. So I'm making some videos for the community, I'm making some for myself, and I'm making some for new people who are coming in. Yeah. But there's a lot of experimentation that I would not have done starting out.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
But I'm at the point now where I have a lot of older videos driving a lot of views to my channel, so I can experiment a bit.
Yeah.
It's okay.
We need to dive back into the airplane mode. I somewhat misspoke. So we're going to come back to airplane mode. So airplane mode, if you're using Wi-Fi, you can use airplane mode because you can turn Wi-Fi back on. If you're using your data signal, you just need to go into do not disturb in terms of, because then you need your data plan to be able to, stream. So do not disturb is probably the easiest, simplest thing that we should have said instead of airplane mode. So my apologies for that, for the confusion that I caused in the chat room going on right now. So do not disturb. Airplane mode is like extra, but you would need to use Wi-Fi for that. Okay, but basically that turns off, like do not disturb will stop phone calls from coming in, messages from coming in. Right. You want to show them on the phone where that is. My camera's too far, so you'll be able to you want to hold your phone up and show them what that looks like.
What, the airplane mode?
Yeah. Do not disturb.
Hold on here.
Sorry about the confusion. Yeah, so hopefully that clears it up for you guys. We're just trying to basically stop the calls and the messages from interrupting your live stream, because if you are live and you actually get a call, it will pause your live stream, and so you then decline it and then it'll pop back in, and it's kind of weird.
You know what? You just gave me a great idea for a video, actually.
Yeah.
How to prepare your mobile device for a live stream.
Yes, it's a fantastic video. Yes.
Yeah, right. And walk them through on an Android and on an iPhone.
Yeah.
How to go through the process of airplane mode and do not disturb and that sort of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good.
Awesome. Okay. And I saw a question come in earlier about sideways Facebook Live videos. If you're struggling with that, I have a video that I just released on this channel. On youtube.com/livestreamingpros. Make sure you go watch that, because I show you where you're failing when it comes to your Facebook live streams going sideways. So go watch that video. It's like one of the last 3 videos that we released. So there you go. Okay. Anything else you want to tackle before we let Dee go? Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah. If you guys have any questions, if you have any questions, just let them rip in the chat right now. Happy to answer them.
Yeah. Okay. So they're all, Dawn says, I love to sleep, so I'm all about do not disturb. Yeah. Right. I always assume these days that everybody keeps their phone on do not disturb in the middle of the night, so that when I'm up at 3 a.m. texting people, they're not getting pinged, I hope. Front or back camera? Great question, Deo.
Ooh, great question. It depends on what you're doing. So okay, do you want to see the chat or not? If you want to see the chat, you have 2 options. You can use the selfie cam. Mm-hmm. You can use the selfie cam and you can see the chat. You can do that on the YouTube app. You can do that in Prism Live Studio. I believe Streamlabs mobile app will do that. You can see the chat using the selfie cam. Or you can use the back-facing cam, right, and place it away from you and use a second device to actually monitor your chat. So that's entirely up to you. You're going to get the better quality, do the back-facing cam, but that's more difficult to operate if you're not used to it, because you've got to frame yourself, and you don't know. You got to keep an eye on your battery if it's not plugged in. But it's entirely up to you. But you will get a better quality image through the back-facing camera. But when I go live, I'm always doing it through the selfie cam.
Yeah, I am as well. Yeah. Like it's just easier.
Yeah, I think there's something that happens during a mobile live stream where people are more forgiving. Like, we talked about a microphone. So right now, if Luria was in her studio sitting right there and her audio sounded terrible, it wouldn't be great. But if she's outside walking around and the audio wasn't that good and you could hear the wind,
let's test this theory, right? So
it's a bit forgiving. Yeah,
I'm gonna go with a built-in microphone, and you guys are gonna be like, "Dude, that sounds horrible. Like, what are you doing?"
It's still pretty good though.
Is it?
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh no, you're hearing something different though, Dee. You're not hearing what they're hearing right now.
All right,
so, like I clipped, it doesn't sound very good. Like you guys, like there's a definite forgiveness that happens with mobile.
So Deo mentioned something really smart. He says, I have a webcam, but it's not good quality as my cell. I'm at my desktop either way, but I prefer using the back camera because of video quality.
Yeah.
I want to mention something for people who actually have a computer and they want to use their phone as a webcam. This is really cool because I know right now webcams are hard to come by, and a lot of people are trying to get online.
Yeah.
You can use free, you can use OBS, or you can use Streamlabs. Of course, you can purchase vMix or something like that, but we're just going to handle free right now. OBS or Streamlabs, you can install what's called an NDI software for either one of those, and an NDI app for your phone, and your phone actually becomes a camera source.
Yep.
So if you can't get a webcam right now and you're trying to get online, you can.
Why didn't I think to do that, to talk about that?
I actually have one of my next few videos. I'm actually wrapping it up now. Is about how to do that.
That's a great suggestion. I can't believe we didn't think about that. That's awesome. Yes, I love that. So like,
so if
gold
you want to learn how
there.
to do that, make sure you're subscribed because that video will be coming soon. I'm going to do one for OBS, and I'm going to do one for Streamlabs.
Okay. So
and if you guys tackle.
Hey, we'll tackle vMix and Ecamm. How about that?
We should just send each other back and forth. Yeah, I'm in. Let me know when you're ready, and I'll drop your link in my description. And you want to do this on vMix? Here you go.
There you go. No, I like that idea. Okay. Yep. And then I'll link to yours because we don't do OBS training. So
there you go.
Perfect. See how collaboration just like really helps everybody. And even if you like, this is one of the things I harp on all the time. Like people think of competition, right? Because like, you know, both Dee and Nick, and by the way, Sean and Benji and all of these people who like talk about live streaming and kind of like compete with me in ranking on YouTube, like, no, they're not competition. They're friends and they're collaborations. And it's great to have conversations around these things because everybody thinks a little differently. Anyway.
And you learn from each other.
Totally. Absolutely.
Because everybody does think differently and everybody has a different approach. Mm-hmm. Like you can learn so much. Like the simplest thing was, you know, like you on stage, right? Like you can learn things where you just go, why didn't I think of that? Right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay, so we do have a bunch of questions still. Do you have time to stick around and answer these?
I'm here for Islam.
Okay.
I'm on lockdown. What are you talking about? We can do
an all-day
live stream. Well, I'm not going anywhere.
All right, 24-hour stream starts an hour ago.
I need to get more coffee, but yeah, I'm good.
Now, so in terms of somebody was asking, and I can't find this video, but somebody was asking, this video? Did I just call a comment a video?
I think you did.
I think I did.
Sure you're going to make it 24 hours?
I don't think so. Maybe we'll kill that idea. So no, somebody was asking like, what's a free and easy way to do like interviews like this? StreamYard is what we recommend for that. Just really super simple, quick, easy. That's what we would call a level 2 stream. And there's on this channel, there is a video where we interviewed StreamYard and he did a little demo and tutorial and how to use that. So there you go.
Yeah. I recommend the same thing. If you have a laptop, if you have a PC or a Mac and you're just getting started and you're wanting to do talking head live streams, I think StreamYard's the best place to start.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to have guests. It's so easy. Everything is browser based. You can if you have no experience, you'll figure it out within 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You'll figure it out within 10 minutes. And the way it works is as soon as you go into the dashboard, they give you a link. Anybody you want to have on as a guest, you send them a link. Mm-hmm. They can just click on the link and be brought in with their computer. Or if they use the Chrome browser on their phone, they can come in through their phone.
Yeah.
So super helpful platform there.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mevo getting good results. And by the way, Mevo just announced that they are now working directly with Ecamm. So if you are using Ecamm, so the new Mefo Spark. Okay, I'm not even going to guess at words right now because obviously that's not going my way today.
So Meetup Central, because we were talking about connecting your phone as a webcam, mm-hmm. They said Android allows you to also connect camera via USB. Yeah, there are some apps for iOS and for Android that allow you. So if you don't want to use NDI, you can just have the app and then you have to install a plugin in some cases. You can just plug in USB right to your phone and it's a camera source. There's so many options out there. It's truly endless. And if you are doing this stuff on your phone, or even if you have a DSLR, and you're like, I do everything with a DSLR. I've got all this stuff. I don't need to do this on my phone. one of these days that might go out midstream, and you're going to wish you knew how to do it on your phone.
Yeah, totally.
Having a backup and knowing how to do things on your phone and what's the most efficient way, and have good audio while you're live streaming. We've actually had live streams go down before.
Yeah.
Streamlabs have died, right in the middle of our live stream. And we're like, hey, well, you know what? Let's get back up and running within like 5 minutes on like Instagram or on Twitter through Periscope.
Yeah.
And we just like replug in some things and we're back up and running on our phone.
Yeah. I do that all the time as well. Well, not all the time because it doesn't fail all the time like that, but I have done that as well.
Yeah. Because you're not using Streamlabs. It will fail if you're using Streamlabs.
How do you share a Facebook Live after it finishes to YouTube? Patty, the Facebook supposedly has the ability to download your Facebook Live. However, it's really buggy right now, and most of the time is going to like a white blank screen where you actually cannot download it for most people. That's going on right now. And then secondly, it's going to be really super low quality. Highly suggest you use something like Ecamm, vMix, Streamlabs, OBS, something so that you can actually download or like save that recording, or you could simulcast to YouTube as well, so that you have a higher quality recording there. So there are different ways to go about it depending on what your end goal is, but I really would not suggest downloading it off of Facebook. It's really, really bad quality, really bad.
There you go.
I have 2 channels and not sure what I have done. I'm not able to access it. But Angela, I'm not sure that that's something we can help with in this stream. But that might be something that you need to reach out to support for with YouTube.
Yeah, over on their Twitter account for YouTube, @TeamYouTube. But I will warn you that YouTube is working from home right now during the lockdown. So don't expect the best answer. It seems to me like a lot of their stuff right now is being automated. So that @TeamYouTube, that's your best shot right now.
For sure. Yes, back to the conversation we were having earlier. Competition does inspire you to improve and do better. Like sometimes
absolutely.
I'm a competitive person, so if I see Dee putting out a video that I should have done, I'm like, oh shoot, like I need to do a better video, right? Like, I mean, I love Dee to death, right? And I will never like actually compete with him, but I am a competitive person at heart, and I want to be like the best possible that I can be. And when somebody like Dee does something amazing, I'm like, oh man, no, I got to do better, right? I don't know if you're like that. I am.
That's fine, and that's actually a tactic that a lot of channels use for growth.
That's true.
So let's say somebody in your niche or niche, how do you say it?
I say niche.
Niche or niche?
I say niche, but
I started with niche because a long time ago when I was young and I got into business, I kept hearing people that were mentoring me. They would always say there's riches and niches.
Oh, right? Yeah.
They would always say there's riches and niches. So it always like that was drilled into my head. And now I'm on YouTube and everybody's like, it's niche. It's niche.
How do you guys say it? Niche or niche? Let us know in the comments.
Right, niche or niche? I don't know what in that word, right?
Yes,
the niche word. And I totally forgot what I was going to say.
You were talking about competition and how that people use that
strategy.
To grow.
See, live, the brain just turns off, right? It's a strategy to where let's say Lurie and David made a video, and it was something about mobile live streaming, but it was very specific.
Yeah.
How to mobile live stream on an iPhone. That was their title. And the video just went, just gangbusters, right? 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 100,000 views. If I did a similar video, now I don't have to do the exact title, but I would do a variation of that title. And there's a good chance if I got my thumbnail right and my watch time was solid, there's a good chance that my video would be recommended next after theirs.
Yeah.
And that's a good place to be, because if you have a successful video and you're the one that's recommended as being shown next, hey, when you're finished watching this one, watch this one because it's a relevant video. It's like this one. That's a good way to siphon off new community, right? You can siphon off views that way. That's a proven tactic for growth.
There you go.
I don't use it enough. I don't use that as much as I should.
I don't either.
But I have used it. Yeah.
Yeah. When going live from a phone, I think is what you were trying to say. Vertical or horizontal? Does Facebook allow horizontal? Well, yeah, for sure. Like Facebook allows both. You can do either on either YouTube or Facebook. Instagram only portrait. But Yeah, I mean, it's a personal preference, to be honest. What are your thoughts about that on YouTube?
Um, well, I think that you need to do it however the platform is best suited to do it.
Yeah.
And I would also look at your viewership and say, how are people looking at your content? If you find that the majority of your people are watching from a mobile device, it might make sense to go live on YouTube in a vertical format because
Yeah.
everybody's watching from their phone. For me, even though I have primarily a mobile audience, like 83% or something like that, I die a little bit inside every time I have to turn my phone vertically to record something. A little bit of me dies inside. So for YouTube, I still go landscape on YouTube, but I will go live on Periscope,
Yeah.
vertical, Instagram, vertical.
Yeah.
My YouTube stories, Instagram stories, vertical. For those of you who do have the feature to go live on TikTok,
Yeah.
vertical,
Yeah.
right? LinkedIn, landscape.
Even on
Right.
Facebook, though, I'll do a mixture of
Will you?
landscape and portrait. Landscape and portrait. Boy, I am losing it today. Because it actually takes up, like on the Facebook feed, it takes up more real estate, so it's actually a
there you
little
go.
bit more eye-popping and catching.
Nope, that makes sense.
So it works well over there. And for years, I was like, no, portrait, no, and I fought it and I fought it and I fought it. And now I'm like, you know what? It's actually kind of useful in certain cases.
Well, no, that's the thing, right? And I'm glad you said that. So you can be strategic about it because that vertical live stream on Facebook takes up tons of real estate.
Yeah.
So that's smart. It might stop people scrolling. And the second thing is test it.
Yeah.
Test some vertical streams, test some landscape streams, and see if you can, in similar topics, similar lengths, and see if you can find one of them that performs better than the other.
For sure. And
Always test. Always be testing.
do not try and do an interview, like in person, two people interview portrait, because I can't fit them. So I've had somebody like reach out to me like, I don't understand. Like, we can't fit both people in. I'm like, just turn it sideways, go horizontal. If you have
Right,
more people.
Right.
Yeah. We were talking, I think this is a follow-up from the other conversation we were having with Deo. Is
Okay.
there a way to mute the cell mic and use the desktop mic if you're using the cell as a webcam? Whenever I plug my cell in, the audio sounds bad because it's charging.
Yes, if you are using your phone as a webcam connected to your computer, I believe that's what he was asking.
Yeah.
All the apps that I have, and on the Android side, there's an endless amount of apps, so I don't know which one you're using, but all the apps that I've experimented with, they all have an option somewhere to disable or turn off audio. So if you have a microphone that you're using that's connected into your computer, like USB mic or something like that, you want to disable the audio inside of the actual app. That way it's going to only use the audio coming from the microphone that's connected to the PC.
Perfect.
So any good app should have that option.
Yeah. Sabrina, we were just talking about that earlier, so go back and watch the replay for that. Can you tell us about your set? What type of camera are we streaming on from now? Is it mobile, DSLR? So very different setups. D, what are you using?
Well, so this is the funny thing. I have all the, right, I came in here guns a-blazing, ready to do like multiple camera setups.
Yeah, he's got all the gear.
And I had all the gear. I thought I was going to use like OBS or Streamlabs. She was going to pull me in, and I'm like, all right, I got this set up. And I'm like, so how do we come in? She says Skype. And I'm like, whoa, what? So
Wait, I
so
threw him.
you threw me for a loop. So right now I'm using a Logitech C920 webcam.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like a last minute thing where okay, I got to do this. So
Sorry about that.
but again, but again, like having that stuff at your, like having options.
Yeah.
Like you don't have your DSLR. Okay, I got my phone. What do you mean I can't use my phone? No problem. I've got this little $60 webcam.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
You use what you got. Impressive.
You use what you have, right?
And then I am coming in to you from a Sony A5100, and I'm in studio, of course. And my mic is usually not in the shots. I need to fix that, but that's just a pet peeve of mine. But yeah, that's what I'm using. So.
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm also using, so my audio is being captured right now from a video mic NTG.
Yeah.
It's a Rode microphone, and this will connect to your phone.
Sorry, hold on. I'm going full screen on you.
Yep. There we go. This is a video mic Rode NTG microphone. And this microphone is really versatile. You can connect it USB to a computer, which is great if you're wanting to do podcasts or something like that. Or you can plug it into your Android or plug it into your iPhone or plug it into your DSLR. It's probably the most versatile microphone on the market right now in terms of it works with everything. Yeah. So I travel with that, and I travel with this, the MV88 Plus, which is smartphone only. So if I'm going outside, I'm usually taking this one just because it's a lot smaller. Let me show you the size difference here. Right?
That's a big difference, yeah.
This is just the tripod for it. This is called a switch pod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love our switch pods.
Yeah, so I travel with a few different things.
And Nicole likes the mic in the shot. Great. And I confused everybody with the whole Skype thing. Apparently everybody's like, wait, this is a Skype. So I come to you from the Ecamm studio, and for guests, Skype integrates directly with Ecamm. Now that will change in the near future, which we won't get into here. But yeah, so like when David's running the stream, he's coming to you from the vMix studio, where he would use vMix Call, and then I come to you from the Ecamm studio. So if I'm controlling the show, it's always Ecamm.
I'm going to guess that there's probably a way to use NDI with the phone to pull it into Skype. I just didn't have the time to figure it out.
Right. Yeah, because I kind of threw that on you last minute.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Right. There's probably a way to do it. Yeah.
Does anyone know if StreamYard will pick up an iPhone virtually? No. So you could do it by pulling in that through software, like what we've been talking about, Ecamm or OBS or vMix or any of those. And then you bring that into StreamYard. That is a possibility that you can do, because you can pull in your whole production into StreamYard. StreamYard is not built for a full production, right? Like that's not the purpose of it. It's a quick and easy fix. So, yeah.
So I've got one. So they were asking how to actually show their phone screen in StreamYard. Is that what they were asking?
Hold on, let me go back. I think, how to bring in the phone as like what we were talking about, pick up of iPhone virtually. Yeah, so like bringing that in.
Okay, so if you're talking about bringing in a guest, they can open up the Chrome browser with the link that you send. Right, but so you just send them a link.
I think he was talking about just like as an extra camera, like we were talking about earlier.
Oh, using this as a camera, okay, as a camera source. As far as I know, directly through StreamYard, no. There could be a way to work that out, to rig it up, but I haven't tackled that just yet. But I will say this, for those of you who are doing tutorials or you want to show something on your screen, I believe you can do this with a Apple computer. I believe if you use QuickTime, you can mirror your iPhone screen or your iPad screen onto your phone. You can also use apps or software like Reflector or something where it mirrors your screen onto your phone. Then when you're in StreamYard, you can use their screen share feature, and it will actually copy your screen. So that way you can get your screen, your iPhone screen or your iPad screen into StreamYard that way if you want to show something that you're doing on your phone. Kind of a weird workaround, but it works.
There you go. And David is pointing out, if you click the link from StreamYard, you are bringing your phone in as a camera. So, I mean, so.
Yeah, technically the guest will always be using their phone. They do it on their phone, yes.
Well, but I think, so like what he's saying is like you could literally like share with your own camera, with your own phone, send yourself.
Through Chrome. Yes.
Well,
that's a good workaround. Yes, exactly.
Send your link to the phone and then use that camera as a camera source.
Here's the process. You start off, you get the link, right? You go into StreamYard, you get the link, you send it to yourself on your phone.
Yes.
You open that in Chrome, then you use your phone as your camera source. It brings it in as a guest, then you add that guest instead of yourself. Boom, there you go.
Exactly.
David, see? That's why you guys are the live streaming pros.
Well, he is.
Everybody else just takes notes when you guys are on.
You guys, if you're loving this, if you're loving the knowledge that Dee is bringing, youtube.com/DNimmin. That link is in the description. Highly, 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 highly suggest you go subscribe. He is dropping new videos about, like we were talking about earlier, about some cool live streaming stuff. So be sure to watch him. Josephine, I'm glad you like my laugh and my name. Well, that makes me feel good. Thank you. All right. So you guys, if you have additional, apparently I have a call in 15 minutes. So sorry. I set my alarm.
Do not disturb, Luria. Do not disturb.
You should. I set my alarms like so I don't miss calls, and whoops, we've gone over longer than I had planned. But Dee, thank you so very much for bringing all of this. This went way beyond mobile gear into lots of strategy.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I was hoping that someday I would be on your guys' channel. I don't get a chance to watch all of your videos, but when I do, I cherry pick so much, and I come into your live streams. Like I said before, and for everybody in the chat right now, and Lori, I've said this before, I learned so much from her and David. Like if I have a question about live streaming, or just I cherry pick through their videos, because if you have any problem about live streaming, you saw with David right there. We're like, yeah, you can't do it in StreamYard. He's just like, oh yeah, you can. You can, right? So yeah. You're watching the correct channel right now. Is what I'm trying to say.
Thank you. And like we said earlier, like we learned so much from you as well. And I love that we can all learn from each other and help each other out. And you'll see more collaborations with all of us in the future as well, I am sure, because we love Dee. All right, you guys, thank you so much. Dee, thank you. And definitely go click those links in the description, follow Dee, and participate in his live streams as well.
Thank you. Wash your hands. Wash your hands, everybody. Keep them clean.
Speaking of hands, we raise our hands and say bye as we end this stream. Thank you guys so much. Bye, Dee.
Thank you. Hi, Luria. Thank you so much.